Hello Forkies, today I will show you one of my recent games that I played in a tournament in an over-the-board classical slow standard, whatever you like to call the classical chess. I will show you this game. I haven't even analyzed it with the computer, but I did analyze the game like for 2 hours straight now without an engine, and I actually don't know what the evaluation at some part was, and I will turn on the engine for this video, so I guess I will get surprised as well. So here we go. So I had the white pieces, and my rating is around 1844. Past month when I was playing this tournament, I gained like 33 rating points. So I guess my rating now is somewhat somewhere around 1877, I believe. And I was playing with the white pieces, as I mentioned, against Andrei Kampush. I have played him before, and his rating is more than like 2050, if I'm not mistaken. You should see it on your screen as well. So yes, I of course opened the game with pawn to e4 here. And I knew my opponent will play pawn to d5 here. So actually, I was playing this game in particular in Saturday, and I was playing the same guy on Wednesday in a blitz tournament, and he played d5 against me. So I thought he will do that in today's game as well. And he did. He played d5, I took the pawn. This is known as the Scandinavian defense. And now he didn't take with the pawn, which is the standard way of playing these positions. But this allows knight c3, d4, knight f3, and I get pretty quick development. So my opponent plays this in a slightly not weird fashion, but he plays this with knight to f6. Of course, this is just a very good move, attacking the d5 pawn. I cannot really play c4 because then c6 and my d pawn here is quite weak. But nothing special. I mean, you can play that as well. But I decided to play d4, and I was prepared in this particular variation. Now, of course, the best way to play is to still take with the queen. I knew my opponent won't do that. I knew my opponent won't take with the knight either. But he will play this in a gambit fashion. I know that he plays bishop g4 in this position. And you might say that, well, how can this win a pawn? How can this be a gambit? Well, this is a gambit because I can play the move pawn to f3. But you also need to know that on Wednesday, when I was playing a blitz game against my opponent, here I think I went with bishop e2, and we had pretty equal game after queen takes. I mean, I have to castle because the g2 pawn is attacked, and this position is rather equal. I mean, white is still better, but nothing in compared to f3. So my opponent didn't know that I will surprise him with this f3 move. Of course, he knew the theory. Now you have to go back to f5. My opponent did so. It's plus zero point 0.8, as you can see on your screen here. There is the evaluation bar. And now the best move once again is not to play c4, because this simply allows e6, and my d4 pawn is still kind of weak. If I take here, then you can just take back. You could also play knight c6 in a more gambit way. And if you take on f7, then your position is just weird because d4 is hanging. I mean, the best move in the position is not even to defend the pawn with my bishop, because then bishop b4 becomes the threat, and this is just losing. So you see why you can play c4 here. But the other best move, I mean the best move in the position by far, is to play pawn to g4 here, going after the bishop. Now, of course, my opponent could potentially go to d7. It's not losing immediately, but after c4, your queen is not even looking at these pawns, and I'm just completely up a pawn here with space on the king side. My position is just wonderful. So, of course, therefore, the only move is to go back to g6, and I was still prepared to play this position on. Now, and only now you can push with c4, and this is, by the way, the only move. This is the only way to get an advantage in that bishop g4 f3 line. And it's, yes, it is plus zero point 0.8. I knew that I was better and that I was trying to push for an advantage out of the opening, but it's still very tricky. I haven't developed any minor pieces here, and everything is still on the first rank, but I'm up on a pawn on d5. I have also overexpanded on the king side, but I knew and I was prepared for a few more moves, and I knew the position I will get is pretty comfortable. So, now the only move not to pretty much lose, you have to play e6 here. You have to start developing, And now taking here is once again pretty bad because of the move knight to c6 attacking the pawn. And now the only move now to be worse isn't to take. Um, it's like minus half. Is to play simply bishop e3 and defending the pawn, and then after knight b4, I mean, slightly unpleasant. Knight a3 again, only move. I didn't want to get into it. My opponent knew probably the theory here. And then you can simply recapture the pawn. You are down a pawn, but you have very active pieces here on g6, on f6, on b4 as well. My knight is misplaced on a3, just defending the c2 square. So that was pretty bad. So you have to play the move knight to c3. And there is a tactical blow in this one. I mean, not quite tactical. It's quite easy, but the idea is you cannot take on d5. Maybe the computer says you can, but you pretty much can. Because I play g5, after g5 you have to go to d7. Then I simply take on d5, and now it's plus 1 knight c6, only move not to lose. And you can play h4, h5. This is just completely... This is just much better after knight b6. This was still my theory. You play queen e2 and you get into a weird endgame with bishop e7, knight takes on e7, I believe. And then you take on d4 and you sack your queen for knight c6, knight e2, knight... No, this wasn't the theory. But yes, knight e2, knight d8 apparently, knight g1, rook g1, and rook d8. This is apparently the endgame you are supposed to get. It's still better for white, but there is one more endgame. Here, if you play the move h5 here, I think. Bishop, yes, bishop f5, knight e7, knight d4, and knight f5 is the best move. You sack your queen, and then you take back with the knight, and you reach this endgame. Yes, this is just spectacular. I have 3 minor pieces for the queen. I have 2 bishops and a knight on e2 in exchange for the queen. And this is insanely difficult to play for both sides, but I knew that the position was plus 1.5. That means almost winning for white. And it's classical chess. I would have like 90 minutes to figure out the position, and I thought, of course, I can go for this. If engine approves, then I approve as well. But we didn't reach that. After knight c3, my opponent didn't go for the main line, actually. E takes on d5 is the main line, but it's not great. He surprised me, kind of. I still knew the move, but c5 here is rather not weird, but not the most commonly played move. I was still prepared for c5. I knew how to play the line. I knew that h4 was the thing, and if you take on d4, it's kind of weird. I mean, you can take here, and if you play knight c6, I go to d1, and I'm completely winning because your knight is hanging. Wait, not to d1, you go to d2. Okay, I was prepared to play queen d1, by the way. But with an idea to play h5, which is still crushing both knights, both pieces of attack. That is knight before I play h5, bishop c2, queen d2 now, and this is just winning. Yeah. I mean, not winning, because if I would play queen d2, then there is no bishop c2 to come with the tempo, and if I would have the move, I would play a3 and pick up the bishop from c2. So that's the idea. He played h6, which is of course correct, and now, as you can see, it's like plus 1.2. Apparently, the computer is not as strong. It's only on 21 moves of depth. And I was prepared here. Like, I was preparing with a computer on like 30 depth, I think. And I knew the best move was to play knight to h3. As you can see, this computer doesn't like it, but if we give him time, it will go up and up and up. I know this was the best move for effect. I looked it with like 30 depth engine, so this is the best move. Trust me, this computer just doesn't know it. So yes, now I was on my own. I didn't know the theory anymore. I knew knight h3 was a move. So let's keep going. What did happen? Well, my opponent took the pawn, which is quite natural. Now I have to take on d4. It's just basically forced. And now the only move to be okay with black, meaning not losing, is to play knight to c6. Well, it hangs a knight. Well, it doesn't, because the queen on d4 is also hanging. That I mean, the pawn is pinned. So if you take, you lose the queen, and the game with it. So yes. Now I played the move that I thought was the only move in the position. And when I was analyzing the game, I also thought that this was the only move in the position. I played the move queen d1. I have no clue how this can be better for black. I was analyzing the game without an engine, and I thought this is just much better for me. Night before was played in my game as well, and now there is only one move that doesn't just lose the position on the spot. Basically, basically, I didn't spot the move. I thought my move was fine here. Um, yes, I played King F2 here, which is okay. King F2 is okay, but I will analyze this game on the higher depth as well, but we'll come to it. I played the move Rook H2. No, the computer plays the move Rook H2. I played King F2. Rook H2 with a simple idea that Knight C2 simply, gives away two pieces for Rook, and we did the game as well. Look at this. This is just completely losing. I thought King to F2 was forced here. Um, King F2, and I was certain that Knight to C2 doesn't work. I was certain about it. I was most. I mean, Knight C2 I thought doesn't work. Why? There are two options here. Why Knight to C2 shouldn't work, in my point of view. The computer, of course, doesn't agree with me. The first one is just an easy draw with Rook B1. And I was correct. If you play Knight before here, I have to. Probably Rook A1, I could also play A3, try to win the game. But Rook A1 is just. I thought this is at least a draw for me. And it is. If we repeat the position 3 times, it's automatically a draw. What I missed after Knight C2, Rook B1. I didn't analyze this as extensively because I thought King F2, Knight to C2, I will play something else. I will show you in a second. But here, apparently, Knight takes G4 is winning. After takes Queen takes on H4, of course. Where shall we go? If I go to F3, what happens? Oh, Knight to E1, yeah. Bishop D6. This is quite hard to spot. Bishop F4. Bishop takes, king takes, E5. King F3, of course. Otherwise, you get mated here because of Queen F6, of course. So that would be pretty tragic. King F3 now, and F5 only move to win again. This is quite brutal. Okay, let's go back to the move I was planning to play if Knight C2 would be played. I thought after Knight C2, I thought I didn't make a single mistake. That Queen D1 was okay, that King F2 was okay, so that basically meant that my position was at least +1 in here. And after Knight to C2, I was thinking that I have to play Knight to F4, which is true. If he plays Knight takes A1, why not? I play Bishop E3 and the Knight is trapped. That was my analysis of the position. And it's pretty much true. Bishop E7, I will open up the king side somehow. And there was also one more variation. You can play, not taking, but you can play Bishop to H7 here. But even then, I thought, I have like G5 here, maybe something else. Knight here, I can even play G6 and win the game. If takes, then I take here, for example. But yes, my opponent didn't play the move Knight to C2 here, which was the only move to be better slightly. It's not like winning, but my opponent played the move Bishop C5 here. And now, of course, King G2 is the only move. And I also confirmed it in the analysis, because if you go King G3, then you probably can just resign somehow. It doesn't look that bad, but I mean, you can even castle here and it's fine for black, but opening the center, playing Queen D6, yeah, just Queen D6 was my idea, which is Knight F4 pinning yourself, I guess. Also Bishop F4 is there, so no. So King G2 is the only move, indeed. Now castles was played, and I thought my position was just amazing here. I thought I was completely crashing with the move I played, which was Knight F4. And it is, indeed, my position is better, like plus 0.5. Not that much as I thought it was. My opponent played very bad move, Bishop H7. Apparently takes is also fine. Yes, this pawn was kind of hanging. And even here, you could not castle. You could also take the pawn. But still knight f4 can be played, and also no a3 then knight c2, so knight f4, and if you take here as well, I can just take back and my queen is defended here. This is getting pressurized and the endgame is just much better for me. Um, so yes, after knight f4, he played bishop h7, okay, and I played g5, which was the only good move in the position. Otherwise, I am worse. G5 is the only move in the position not to be worse. So g5. He played e5, which I think is the only move not to lose the game, which is true as well. If I mean, there is 98, but this looks too passive, and I calculated the 97. Just you can resign. There are many options. Why not? But even 93 here. Just no, not 93. Um, I mean, there was takes as well. Even g6 sacrificing the pawn apparently, and this pawn is then hanging. And with a3 b4 combinations, you can just win that. So e5. The move surprised me a little bit, but in the analysis, I actually figured out it was the only move not to lose the game immediately. And now I played the second best move, knight to d3. Well, why didn't I take here? Well, because I'm completely lost if I take. Because, wow, I was actually thinking when I was analyzing the game, the best move is bishop c2 here. Queen d2, and you can just take here with bishop e3 ideas. If I take rook e8, um, queen f4. No, what was I thinking about actually? So if I play, yes, if I play queen e1, takes, f takes, um, rook e8, and I get completely slaughtered here with bishop e3. And if I play the move queen to d2 here, apparently it's winning. But I mean, takes queen f4. I thought, yes, queen f4 not the best because of bishop d6, and then I didn't like that. I thought black was better here, which is quite I mean, the right assessment, but I missed a few things. So 93 I thought was the best move, but the best move apparently is to play a3 here, allowing knight c2 to happen, and then playing 93 because it's the only move. Well, good luck figuring that one out. But yes, 93 here is just fine. And now bishop takes d3 I thought was the most logical move, and we would reach this position with knight h5 and knight to e4, and my position would just be pretty much okay. Maybe rook e1 firstly pressurizing the pawn, but doesn't matter. You can see white is just much better here. But after knight takes d3, bishop takes d3, he didn't play the move bishop takes on d3. He didn't take the bishop here. He played knight to h5, and now I think I played a very bad move. I took the pawn, and I gave a question mark to that move when I was analyzing the game, and that's true. Now black is better. This is just a horrendous move, and I calculated that bishop takes on h7 might win, and I gave it a exclamation point. King takes, and I thought about playing queen d3 here, g6, and the move knight to e4, and that's also completely true. So let's go back to the game. G takes on h6 was played, and now the only move that is better for black, there is single move that is better for black, is to play f5 here. My opponent played it. Which is, I mean, I have to give it an exclamation point. I mean, this is just a very good, mature decision. Not taking the pawn and playing something else, but playing f5, trying to play for e4. And now, I think I played the losing move. Here I was having like 50 minutes, and I thought after takes and he pushed f5 in a few seconds, I thought my position is just getting very hard to play. And I was spending like 15, 20 minutes on this single move, and I played queen e2. And I gave it a double question mark. I gave it double question mark sign here, because I think it loses the game, and the computer agrees with me. This is losing game, losing move. Not because of what I thought. I thought in the analysis was e4, But it's not true because f takes, f takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes attack, simply rook f2 wins. King h3, I thought I have here. Well, this is getting ugly. Queen c7 only move, and apparently it's a draw. Um, okay. I thought actually that here, of course, if I take with the bishop, then this happens. Um, I thought this actually loses for white, but it's a draw apparently. Okay, so and I thought e4 was the winning move here, but it's not. There is one other move that my opponent found, but I gave it a question mark sign. It's not. It's a great move, by the way. I just didn't know it at the time of analyzing the game. So queen d6 is the best move, and I was pretty shocked about this. Um, I was completely missing the ideas here. I mean, queen g3 just queen d6 amazing move, threatening to play e4, queen g3 then, knight f5 at some point becomes a very strong threat, and now I spent another 15 minutes and I calculated everything until the end. I played the move bishop to e3, and now my opponent blitzed out queen g6, which is still fine, king f2, only move of course, and now knight to f4. This is losing for white. There is only one move not to lose the game immediately. Of course, I cannot take because I'm pinned here. If I move the queen, then queen g2 is lights out. King e1, king takes rook. King takes rook. Excuse me. Um. Yes. Now I've spoiled it. The only move to stay in the game, probably. I mean, the computer gives bishop takes e5, but come on, this loses the queen, so you just can resign. Is to play rook a to g1. There are only two good moves in the position, otherwise white is better. My opponent played the losing move actually, knight takes on e2, and oh, it's +1. I'm sacrificing an exchange after bishop takes on e3, king takes e2, takes, and now I don't take the bishop. That would be pretty okay, but no, I take on g7, which is not the best apparently. Not the best, because if I go here, I thought, I mean, even this, and I'm okay, but let's go to the point. After king takes and king takes on e3, I am down on exchange for 2 pawns here, and white is slightly better. Now, let's see what happened and how black could actually win this. Excuse me. Let's go to the point where black was completely winning here. So the winning move is queen takes on h6, and now I still cannot do anything. Bishop takes e5, still the best move. Um, I don't know what I would play here. I guess like queen to d2. Oh, knight d3 is check. Sheesh. And f4. F4. Oh, F4. Um, had some weird visions there, but yes, F4 just picks up the bishop because if I take, then you take my queen, and I can resign him. So let's go to the end game. I here after king takes on e3. This is the following end game. He played rook h8. I played the move b4. He played the move king f6, nothing special. We were shuffling around, and my idea was to push c5, maybe play d6 and create a pawn structure. Then I will get the passed pawn. I mean, I already have one, but I want it on the c file, being protected and so on. I'm trying to push my pawns down the board and make a new queen. I'm down on exchange, by the way, so I still need to defend properly. My opponent played a6, stopping any b5 advancement. I played the move a4. He played the move rook a to c8, and now I think I played a losing move here. I played king d2, which is, yes, I knew it. When I played it, I knew it was losing. My opponent also played bad move, but the winning idea here is just to play a5. Maybe it's not winning. But if I take here, you take here, and I can. It's not as losing because of rook b1. This pawn falls. This pawn falls. I mean, hard to. There are still these two pawns here. Rook h2, bishop e2. Yes. Now you can take here and be up a piece if I'm not mistaken. No, I can take with the knight. What's my problem? But even taking with the king is a draw. No, but you can take here and take here and be up a piece. But a6, a7, a8 equals queen. Okay. So yes, he didn't saw that. He didn't see that. Excuse me. But I just blitz out king e3 back, b5, and now he blundered the game away. He had a tactic, and you can try to see what the tactic was, but it doesn't work. His idea was after f takes, knight takes on e4 was played by me, bishop takes, and his idea was to win a piece. How? Well, to play rook e7 wins a piece, but no, rook f1, rook f4 saves the day for white, and you can just resign there. King g7, of course, only move, and then rook f4 defends the bishop. I mean, I'm up everything. I'm up 3 pawns. So he didn't play here. He played the move a takes on b5. A takes on b5 was played, and rook h5. Now king d4, of course, the best move, rook a8, and it's winning for white. Winning for white. I mean, just winning. I played rook f1, still winning. Rook f5, defending the rook f4, defending the pawn, not as winning anymore. Rook a4, king e3, rook a3. I played the move king d2 here, and here was the final moment of the game. What? I'm seeing an engine line that says that I'm winning. D6 here, and now the only winning move. There is only one winning move, and I found it. The only winning move is to play bishop to f5 here, and I saw that. I played it. I played bishop f5, and I didn't win. Well, of course, the idea is that I will pick up the rook, but now I'm sacrificing the bishop, and after rook takes f5, king takes f5, I play the move d7. How will you stop the pawn? Well, he played the move rook h2. I played the move king to c3. He played the move rook to h3. I played king d4, which is not winning. Just go here, eh? Now I will try to solve it without an edge. King d4, of course, is a draw after rook h1. And I saw this idea, but I thought I have c6 and I win. But that's not true. After rook d1, king b6 I played. No, I played king c5, of course. What's my problem? B takes, and there is only one move, and he found it, king e6. And now I played king b6, only move to not lose. And now rook takes d7, and I offered the draw, and I drew the game. But hold on. I'm winning here. After d7, check. I cannot play king d4. I have to play king d2 also wins, but I can play king b4. No, king b4 it's a draw. What? King c4 wins. And if you take, then I play king d5. You go rook h1, let's say. I play king d6, and you cannot stop my pawn. Oh. But I was also having like 3 minutes here, so I should have played king c4, not king d4. What was my problem there? Takes and king d5, and I'm in time to get the king to d6, and he's just losing completely for black. But I didn't hold the winning advantage, so I drew the game. But there is one more thing that I'm trying to show you now. The other move here that I thought also was making some sense was to play d7 here. After king takes, to play bishop f5 now, and after takes and takes, if you take me, I play here. I thought this is king c8. I thought this was also winning when I was analyzing the game. I didn't analyze the game properly, I guess. Now, if you play rook back, let's say I get the best position in the world, rook h4, here. Rook h8 back, and apparently this is still holding. Let's say here, let's say, oh, rook d8, there is also rook g8, but how is this here? I play here. B takes. Oh, but this is just, no, I cannot do this because this is of course a draw. No, this is not draw anymore. You have to go here. But yes, so the bishop f5 was the only move to win, and I found it, but I didn't convert it. King c4 wins, king d4 is a draw. Why didn't I just play king c4, and if check, go king d5 and just win the game? Okay. So yes, I drew the game at the end. I offered a draw here. He of course accepted, because if I take, let me just show you this. He's in time to stop my pawn from queening, and it's just game draw. So yes, this was my game against Andrei Campush. I won few rating points, nothing major. I should have win the game. But yes, there is one more moment that I need to show you. I mean, probably one of the most important moments of the game. After 96, basically. Queen d2 is the best move. Yes, I mean, I thought Queen d1 was the best move because I saw a line earlier that said Queen d1 was the best in some other position in my prep, and it simply wasn't. So maybe spending few more seconds on this move would be good. But Queen d2 blocks my bishop, so I guess I didn't like that. So yes, I drew against pretty strong opponent here at the end. Um, and yes, I played pretty okay, and in the end game I only had 3 minutes, and then I blundered it away, and it was a draw once again. King d4, just a weird move. I saw rook h1. I saw that idea, but I thought I have the move c6, and then I didn't even calculate any other moves. I just played it, so maybe that was also my problem. But yes, if you like the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really help me out. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.